Hi. Business can be, and often is, a challenging arena that can be personally transformational and have a significant positive impact on society. It can also, though, with justification, get a bad rap for the ethics practiced in its name. Recently, I was introduced to someone who had been very generous and helpful to a friend of mine, and I shared my appreciation for his actions. We were then talking about his business sector, and I felt on safe ground to express my dismay at some of the sharp practices that were happening in that area, feeling sure that they wouldn't apply to him in any way. He, though, acknowledged that he also engaged himself in those and shrugged his shoulders and said with a charming smile, "Business is business." This expression, business is used as shorthand for saying that business is somehow separate and operates with a different set of rules. I think this is a sleight of hand, an excuse we grant ourselves for actions we can't justify otherwise, a kind of moral shield to protect us when we turn business practice towards selfish personal gain. This, though, is only part of the picture and belies the enormous possibilities and even responsibilities that exist for businesses with their ability to transform personal lives and society in very positive ways. Business is not a thing. It is an organizing principle given to a range of activities that take place in life which entail inputs and outputs. It's as simple as that. This is the case in commercial companies. It is the case in governments, charities, not-for-profit, religions, families even. A business is no more than the expression of the people that own, manage, and work in it. There is nothing ever the matter with business that isn't a reflection of those that foster its activities. Some judge a business simply by its profit performance, but this narrow thinking is surely to impoverish not only most of its stakeholders, but also the many ways in which businesses can be a force for good. The best aim of a business must be, surely, to fulfill a purpose that meets a need and, when done well, makes a profit. As David Packard of Hewlett-Packard once described business as being a group of people who get together and exist as an institution that we call a company, so that they are able to accomplish something collectively that they could not separately. They make a contribution to society and produce something of value. As humans, we are meaning makers. Meaning is at the core of our lives and infuses our actions with purpose and inspires us to do what we do. Energized by our purpose, we evolve values, goals, and create visions. Leaders whose lives and business purposes are in alignment report enhanced joy and fulfillment in life, which makes complete sense because business is where we invest much of our energy. But when there is a misalignment, the internal conflict that this generates within us can often lead to chronic stress, unhappiness, and/or dis-ease. Business, in other words, is not separate to life, it's an integral aspect of it. A business is also a host of society. At its best, it can shape and enhance a society, enriching the lives of its citizens and establishing a mutually beneficial ecosystem. At its worst, a business can drain a society of energy, talent, and wealth, acting like a cancer with no respect or concern for its host. Businesses are an essential and valuable aspect of society when their intrinsic values and interests are aligned with those of the society. The question for us as leaders is how can our businesses create a mutually beneficial relationship that serves the company, society, humanity at large, and the natural world as a whole? Because without this approach, societies will ultimately suffer. Our businesses will, the natural world will also, and all who sail with them will. As leaders, can we identify and articulate the inspirational, more than vision of the company that reaches beyond its need to survive, make a profit, and put food on the table of its staff members, which can truly connect with all of its stakeholders and inspire their full engagement because it serves also a higher purpose? And if we seek to develop disruptive business models to gain super extra benefits, should we not consider the impact that they have on society if we are to consider ourselves acting for a greater good? We can imagine business as a muscle of human endeavor that now has a unique opportunity, even a responsibility, to act wisely for a greater purpose. The business environment has the power to be personally transformational. It can also be a spark for affecting societal transformation as its operations impact on the wider stakeholders. Many of us give most of the waking hours we have to our businesses, so to explore how we can do so meaningfully will surely have a tremendous impact on our personal ability to live meaningful lives intelligently and purposefully. Resilient companies are founded upon enduring shared values that resonate with staff and society, and to deviate from these can quickly erode trust and bring about decline. In 2019, in his TED Talk, The Dirty Secret of Capitalism, Nick Hanauer describes the economics that argue for enrichment of shareholders as a primary purpose as the gospel of selfishness, that have led, in his words, to the dangerous levels of inequality which now exist in many economies. As leaders in this monumental era of human history, is it not incumbent on us to ask ourselves, what is the greater purpose that we and our businesses serve? What is most meaningfully important, and how can we balance the needs of the widest stakeholder community with those of shareholders? In our hearts, we as leaders surely know what is of real value. And if we're paying attention to life, we can also feel when our actions and core values are not in alignment. Meaningful solutions to humanity's challenges will surely only arise with an expanded perception and understanding of a greater purpose than a simple profit motive. As an arena in which we invest so much of our lives, perhaps we should not consider business as business, but rather business as a vital part of a fulfilled and meaningful life. We lead in a seminal age for humanity. What will be our legacy?